All right, we are live. Hello, everybody. I'm not sure if any of the patrons are watching live here. Maybe you'll want to watch after the fact. But as you can see, I've got a murderer's row of guests here, people who've made it to the third round of the KKPP. So I guess I'll introduce you guys when we start the actual show, which I guess I'll do as soon as Mason just jumped away. So as soon as Mason gets back. Yeah, oh, there he is. I thought maybe he went to go and just dominate a Chell game quickly and then get back here in time. But all right, so yeah, I guess I'll just start the show, and I haven't really given it too much thought, so we'll see how this goes. But okay. Yay! Yes! Welcome everybody to another episode of the Keeping Carlson Fantasy Hockey Podcast, the longest running fantasy hockey podcast in the world, hosted by a guy who is on the outside looking in. I did not make it to the third round of the Keeping Carlson playoff pool, but I'm with four people who did. It's a very exciting time because we're about to draft one of the 8 KKPP Round 3 divisions. It's going to be a blast. So with me are 4 managers, which I'm going to introduce to you in just a second. But just to give people a quick recap of what's going on here, the Keeping Carlson playoff pool, we redraft every single round. We started with, I think it was 260 people, 13 times 20, whatever that works out to be. And then half the people got eliminated after round 1. We redrafted again for the second round, and then we're down to now the final 32. There's going to be 8 divisions of 4 teams each each of these 8 divisions are doing a draft just like this. The other 7 are already done. They slow drafted today, but I'm here with people who are going to draft live for all of our entertainment. The 8 winners are going to make it to the finals and go for the ultimate KKPP glory. And so, yeah, we're just picking between the Rangers, the Panthers, the Oilers, the Stars. The draft strategies will be interesting. And of course, also, I'll just recap quickly that the categories are just points, except there's also a team goalie slot. So that'll be just a point for a win and a point for a shutout. But aside from that, just 1 for a goal, 1 for an assist. And we're each drafting 7 forwards, 2D, and a goalie. And that's it. That's the draft. So Keeping Carlson, proudly presented by DopperHockey.com. I'll say that super quickly. Awesome site. They've had great coverage all through the playoffs. But okay, let's get started. I guess I'll just introduce people as we go here. I will start the draft, but first up is the person who had the highest score in all of round 2 of the KKPP. It's Chris, a.k.a. Cosmos. Chris, first of all, welcome to Keeping Carlson. And second of all, tell us about how incredible your team was last round. How did you do it?
I think initially I was just trying to get a couple of points that had already been accumulated in that first game. So I got Fox and Kreider on my team. Fox obviously was probably my worst pick of the whole draft. Beyond that, though, I just had guys that did really well. I didn't have a lot of passengers. Draisaitl, Lindholm, Lundell, Natchez, Sagan, Heiskanen, Drouin. I took Carolina's team goaltending, which didn't do great, but it was enough. And really Draisaitl carried my team.
Yeah, I was gonna expect that like anyone here just wrote Oilers because it was insane this last round. Draisaitl had 14 points in 7 games. Probably my whole round 3 team round 2 team pretty much was surpassed by just him. But yeah, you made it to round 3. And yeah, that is a good point that we had this annoying thing to start that last round where one of the games of round 2 had already started before round 1 even finished. So everyone already knew the results of that first Rangers-Carolina game, whereas Zibanejad had 3 points. So yeah, some people you had the choice of either you could take the points in the bank, or you could have gone for points that wouldn't have happened yet. And actually, a lot of people ended up taking someone like a Zibanejad over Panarin, because he had that 3-point game at the end of the series. Zibanejad had 7 points and Panarin had 8. So I guess you never know. But anyways, we'll see who goes first this round. So yeah, Chris, you're first up. Who are you going to go with?
I decided not to go with the exciting entertainment value strategy. I decided to play a conservative, and I took Draisaitl.
Okay. It's interesting that in the first round, Draisaitl wasn't that exciting. He was falling a little bit in these drafts because in the first round it was McDavid obviously as the big guy, but I guess you're just going with recency. McDavid, what a slouch. Only 9 points in the 7-game series against Vancouver. So you feel confident that Draisaitl is going to outpoint him. Would you make the same first pick if you had first overall in a couple draft for next season?
No, absolutely not. But yeah, like I was saying earlier, I think so many goals just seem to be Bouchard kind of taking a pass from Draisaitl, throwing it on net, and then someone else scores. So in a points only format, it seems like a relatively safe pick.
All right, so you're on the board with Leon Draisaitl. Pretty sweet pick to have. Next up, we've got Bob, and Bob is also in round two. And by the way, this is not going to be a snake draft, so you get a reward for how high you ranked in the last round. So you're going to get the second pick of every single round. Welcome to Keeping Karlsson. Want to tell us a little bit about your journey to this point, and then who you're planning to go with to start off your team? Are you going to pick another Oiler? Or are you going to go somewhere else?
Yeah, thanks, Elon. I think my choice is going to be pretty obvious. I'll just say it. I definitely rode the Oilers in the last round, which was great. I had Draisaitl and Bouchard. What a combo for that series. The rest of my team didn't. They didn't hold up all that good, but like we talked about, I did bank some points. I grabbed Trocheck, I think, with third or fourth pick. I can't remember, but he had a good first game, which was great. So I added a few points in there, and then no one else was really exciting on my team. It was just riding the backs of those Oilers. So with Connor McDavid as my first pick, let's keep that train going this series. I don't know. Did he cut out for you guys too, or just me?
Oh shoot, I was muted this whole time. Sorry about
Yeah.
that. Okay, edit
No one
point.
else was making faces, so I was like,
My bad. Okay.
I was
Okay,
getting a
okay.
little nervous with my pick on the clock here.
Okay. My bad. Okay. Sorry about that. All right. So I'll go. All right. Next. Oh man. So I'll even forget. Oh, I said something like to end Bob's pick. What's the last thing you said? Can you remind me? You actually picking McDavid?
Yeah. I just said I was gonna ride the Oilers
Oh,
again into
okay.
this round. Yeah.
All right. Sorry about that. I'll pause, Mason, the timer here. Sorry about that, everyone. Yeah, I mean, generally in fantasy, I feel like you can't go wrong if you have a second pick and you're getting McDavid. That's usually a pretty good thing for you. Not again to say that Chris made the wrong choice, but obviously, I'd imagine, Bob, you're pretty happy with your choice there. Even though, yeah, only the fourth leading scorer in the last round, all
Yeah.
Oilers. In
I
the
do
top
get
four.
concerned about the Stars defense and Ottinger. That's the one thing that like I did kind of have to think about it for a second matchup wise, but it's Connor McDavid. Like, let's go. He's going to be amped to try to get into the finals this year, so I can see him having a really big conference finals.
Yeah, and I mean, also, I mean, with playoff pools, like who knows? You know, it's a lot. It's a very small sample size. I feel like you're not going to be beating yourself up if you lose. That, oh, what was I thinking taking Connor McDavid? So yeah,
Yeah,
all right.
for sure.
Next up, we've got Mason. Mason, you've been on Keeping Karlsson, I feel like a few times over the years here. I think people will recognize your voice. I remember you were on these extreme schemes, spectaculars, ranking different positions. I don't know. I feel like a bunch of shows over the years. So great to see you again. How you doing? Welcome back, and congrats on making it to the third round of the KKPP.
Thank you. Yeah, it's good to be back. It was mostly Stream Scheme that I was on before. But yeah, I'm just glad to be in this third round. I squeaked in last night with some help from the Oilers goalies and Bouchard. So yeah, last round I picked Bouchard near the end of the first round. I figured I had to tether to McDavid and Draisaitl as much as I could. And after that, I banked a few points with Aho and then basically loaded up on depth stars and ended up getting enough points, like 4 points from each of them. Sagan, Pavelski, Stankoven, Dadonov, they all got me like just enough to make it to this next round. So probably won't end up with that same thing here, which is why I'm comfortable sharing it. But the first thing I did do when I found out I was going to this round was check to see whether I was a third or a fourth pick, because I felt like there was a drop off after the third pick and I already knew who I wanted. Same person I had in the first round last round, and for the same reason, I'm going to take Evan Bouchard. I think it's important to be part of that offense and that power play. The Oilers are so concentrated, on those top few guys, and Bouchard basically has the same number of points as McDavid as a defenseman. So I think that's incredibly valuable if he can keep that up at all.
Yeah, like I said, like everyone's gonna have to end up with 2 defensemen, so might as well get. If he was leading, the whole league in points in the last round, 14 points in that 7-game series against the Canucks. So pretty good pick, like you said. You got him in the last round. That was 8 people, so obviously you weren't gonna be able to wait till like 7th overall or something to get Bouchard this time. I'm sure that we'll find out from Rob if he feels sniped here. 3 Oilers off the board. I'll let you guys know. I've been following the other KKP round 3 drafts. It's been pretty similar. It's been 3 Oilers, so I guess we'll now see it because it's possible. Dallas has good defense. They've got a good goalie. We'll see if, but Rob could also just continue on the trend because there's still a lot of Oilers that got a lot of points left. So, anyways, first of all, welcome back to Keeping Karlsson, Rob. I did an ad for your company earlier
Yes, you
on.
did.
So feel free to give a plug, and then let us know how you're doing and who you're deciding to pick.
I'm not going to plug right now. That's all good. I appreciate everything you do, Farm League Canine. Yeah, I wrote out some luck with the Rangers and drafting late in the draft. It's all kind of Zibanejad over Panarin. Yeah, that was kind of got lucked out there, but. Right now, those are the 3 I thought, and I'm just like, you got to go against the grain a bit, I guess, at this place, and so I'm probably gonna, I'll be taking. Let's go with our boy. Heiskanen.
I mean, I feel like
limited D. I don't know. You either fade him hard or go pick him hard.
And he had a great round in that series, 8 points in 7 games against Colorado. I think that you're not going. I think you made the right choice here. Like I know Shams was in a similar situation in fourth. Fourth is tough, right? Like you squeaked in, which is awesome, but now you're picking at the last pick of each round, and yet here it does seem like there's these 3 high-powered Oilers. But yeah, Shams was in a similar situation. He actually took the same guy. He took Heiskanen at the end of the first round, I believe, in his KKPP round 3 draft. It's like you're just banking on the Oilers not being able to score against Dallas. I think if the Oilers do well against Dallas, it's going to be hard to keep up with these guys who just took McDavid, Draisaitl, and Bouchard. But yeah, you've got the contrary view here, and if Dallas shuts them out, I'm sure Heiskanen's going to be a big part of it. You got your D locked in. Pretty solid pick, I think. And now we get to go back to Chris to start the second round.
That was going to be my high entertainment value pick. I was very, very, very close to taking Heiskanen first overall because I felt like I could guarantee that the next 3 picks would all be from the same team, and that team wasn't favored to win their series. And so if Dallas, like a lot of people are picking Dallas in like 5 games, and that might be a bit crazy, but Dallas is a great team, and I think defense are valuable. I think that I saw some things I didn't like from the Rangers towards the end of the last series. And for that reason, I'm going to be taking Brandon Montour.
Wow, that's nice.
Oh, man. All right. Yeah. Sorry. I again was muted. I'm an amateur here. Yeah, Montour, man, what a story for him this season, right? Like, he came back from injury. He was getting drafted and stashed. People thought, like, okay, I just need to be patient. If I draft Montour in the regular season, when he comes back, propel me to the playoffs to victory. Then he was like, nothing. Every week on the podcast, I was asking Brian, like, what are we going to do with Montour? Is he ever going to bounce back? And then right near the end of the season, he got going. And then, yeah, all of a sudden, having himself a nice playoffs, had 5 points in 6 games in Florida's last series against Boston. And I feel like he's, again, like that's 3 of the 4 top power play guys off the board. It's pretty wild because the other one is probably the one that would have gone first in the last round. So obviously we're just kind of going with a little bit of recency bias here, but Montour also playing for a new contract. And yeah, we'll see if he could help Florida make it to the finals for the 2nd year in a row. I don't think that anyone is going to be getting him at a discount. That's for sure. By the way, pointless in his last 3 games to end the series. He had a really strong start against Boston, a couple multi-point games, then went quiet. We'll see if he's going to get going against Igor Shesterkin and the Rangers. But okay, so we are back now to Bob, for the second pick here, you got McDavid with the first pick. All the teams have been picked except for the Rangers so far. So let's see if you're going to break the seal with the Rangers.
I echo the sentiment of not liking what the Rangers were doing in that series. It was concerning, and I don't know. I like the way that your that cat on your hat is kind of looking at me right now. It's saying go for it. Draft Chucky there with number 5. Number 6. Yeah. So let's do it. Let's take Matthew Tkachuk. I think this is going to be a pretty physical series, and I think there's going to be a lot of net front action on this one. And I think Chucky's going to have his nose all over it. So I'm expecting a point per game at least from that fella this one. So let's go. Let's get it.
I mean, man, his playoffs last year was incredible, and then he followed that up with actually a slow start to the regular season, but he really went crazy for the second half. Brian and I are going to do over the summer our classic Red Boys, Green Boys episode where we kind of look at the splits of first season versus second season. I'm sure Tkachuk is right at the top of the biggest difference between the two. And yeah, he's kept it going in the playoffs. I guess this is his time. 14 points in 11 games so far after he had, he's actually pacing for more points in this playoffs than he did in the last one where he had a 24 and 20. So yeah, you can't go wrong with that. Now we go back to Mason, who took Bouchard. So you got the D off the board already. Are you going to go another D? That would be wild. Or you can just go another forward. Or you can go team. You got 3 choices, I guess.
No, I was hoping to pick up Heiskanen at some point, but I think that was a good pick. I am happy to see. I was thinking between Panarin and Tkachuk this round, so I will be breaking the seal. I'm fine with the Rangers. I think they will beat the Panthers, and so even though Panarin is not even the top scorer on his own team, I do think I have to go with him over the other options.
All right, Panarin off the board. Hey, you don't even need to predict the winner, right? Sebastian Aho gave 9 points in the 6 games he played, even though his team lost. So this is a guy who's coming off an insane regular season, 120 points. It seemed like we'd seen the most we'd see from Panarin. He'd been like a solid 100-ish point guy for the past forever, and then exploded this year. And we'll see if he can help take the Rangers past the Panthers. I guess, it is. I haven't actually given my prediction. I haven't really even. I feel like probably the Panthers. Panthers and Dallas is, I guess, the chalk pick of what's going to happen. But yeah, okay. All right, so we're going to the end of the second round here. So back over to Rob, who took Heiskanen. And let's see who you're going to go with next.
Yeah, I also don't have a problem with the Rangers right now. And then I'm going to probably hit. I'll go Zibanejad.
I got to tell you, you sound a little disappointed.
I said don't draft him for a 3rd time in a row, but he's been helping out.
He's made it this. You've gotten this far, so
Ride with him. Yeah, that's right.
Okay, over to start the 3rd round here. We're going to be doing 10 picks. We're down 2. Over to Chris. You've got Draisaitl and Montour.
I should mention that Red Boys, Green Boys episode is definitely one of my favorites every year. That I feel like I get a ton of value from that. So keep it up.
Sweet. Pretty much, it's like me trying to get Brian to at least agree with one person that he's not just going to be like, oh, it'll probably be in the middle, somewhere between what they did in the first half and the second half. It's fun when you can actually get someone like, no, throw out the first half. It's the second half that's real. That's what I always am trying to search for with those. But all right, so sorry, thank you.
So as much as I'm kind of down on the Rangers, last draft, I went with Draisaitl as my first pick, and then 2D, Fox and Heiskanen as my second 2 picks. And I think I'm probably in good shape to take the last PP1 defenseman off the board here. So I'm going to grab Fox. I don't feel good about it at all, but I feel reasonably confident with my ability to pick decent forwards late in the draft. So this feels like very conservative, and hopefully that's where I can be successful, is by picking decent forwards later on.
Yeah. Fox is over point per game in the regular season. Doesn't feel like a conservative pick, but yeah, went pointless in the last 4 games to end that series. Before that, he rode a 4-game point streak for the last couple games against Washington and then the first couple games against Carolina. I feel like he's probably going to do. I don't think he's going pointless for his next 4 games. I think you're going to be okay with that pick, Chris. So, all right, that's 4D off, and we go to Bob next. Bob, you're the only person who doesn't have a defenseman yet, so you're going to be riding 2 non-top power play defensemen. I guess I'd imagine you're probably just going to now wait a long time and just try to get more stud forwards. What are you thinking for your third pick after McDavid and
Don't
Tkachuk?
give away my strategy, okay?
I'm just guessing. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to take one here either. There's a few guys looking at me though, so I've got to kind of stare them in the eyes for a second here, and what one wants it more. I think I'm going to go partners in crime with this pick. Maybe, yeah, I got to go with my boy Carter Verhaeghe here at pick number 3. I just think he's just going to keep shooting that puck. And if Tkachuk's going to be, being a menace in the way that he does, someone's got to shoot the puck first. So it's going to be Carter. So let's go for it.
I feel like all 3 of your picks have been your boy. You have a lot of boys.
Those are my boys. Okay, so obviously Connor McDavid, I think, is everybody's boy. If you're a hockey fan, you got to like McDavid, right? Tkachuk is full entertainment value. And Verhaeghe, I still miss him as a Bolts fan on that Tampa Bay Lightning team, the first cup there a few years back. Losing him was big. So, I've always got a soft spot for him. And seeing him succeed in Florida has been beautiful. So I love it. Let's go. That's my last boy, though, I promised, Elon.
They could all be your boy. But yeah, Verhaeghe, it's an interesting pick, right? Only 2 points in the 6-game series against Boston, but I guess you've got a hunch. I could think of some other. We could do some table talk here. I could think of some other, at least one other Panther that jumps out to me as someone I might have been more interested in. But hey, I'm a round 2 loser, and you're here drafting. So who am I to say? Let's see what happens.
My God,
to Mason.
Well, now you can all see, at least I've got my Oilers jersey on, and I think, the Oilers are who brought me here with McDavid in the first round and Bouchard in the second round. I also picked Henrique and the Oilers goalies, but those ones weren't as exciting. But I will go with another Oiler here, hopefully end up with the most Oilers power play production out of anybody. I will take Ryan Nugent-Hopkins as the 4th highest scorer in the playoffs so far, and just bank on that continuing. I think the Oilers will have to keep McDavid and Draisaitl on separate lines as much as possible due to Dallas's depth, and that helps Nuge getting one of them at least, but I think usually McDavid.
Yeah, and you're completing the set for that power play, or I guess for the draft. That top power play now has been picked dry. And yeah, hard to argue with what Nugent-Hopkins has been doing so far. Really went off in that last series, especially. He's a guy who is going to be another difficult guy to project. I guess he's been all over, right? Kind of a down regular season, only 69 points after 104 the year before. But now this playoffs is making him look like, pacing for 109. We'll see how it goes with him. I guess, like you said, it's always the Oilers keep on switching around who he plays with depending on the opposition. So maybe that makes it harder for him. Maybe more valuable in real life than sometimes in fantasy. But yeah, looking good so far. You got 2 of your 3 picks are these high-powered Oilers with Bouchard, now Panarin and RNH. And now we go to Rob. Let's see, Rob. I want you to feel good about this next pick. I hope that when you make it, you're going to be like, yeah, I'm happy to have this guy.
Yeah, my emotions are much different with this last pick. I'm pretty happy that Barkov was still available. And I think he did pretty okay with some top flight goaltending. I'm a little nervous about going against Shesterkin. I'm a big fan of what he's been up to probably since, February or March. But Barkov, I think he should be already drafted, so I'm happy. But we'll see.
Yeah. He had a great series, 8 points in 6 games. When he's healthy, he's incredible. He's tricky, I think, to draft super high in regular season leagues just because he always misses some time. But yeah, he's coming through so far in the playoffs just like he did last year. All right, we're 3 rounds down. We could go back to our first overall pick, Chris, who's got Draisaitl and 2 D. So you just get to forget about D. Theoretically, you could take one more D if you wanted. I'm not sure why you would. So you can go all skaters. You could grab the team also if you have a team. For teams, you're guaranteed if the team wins, you get 4 points right there with some shutouts. You never know.
Yeah, I don't feel confident enough about any series outcome to mess with that this early. I do think taking your boys though is a good strategy. I feel like taking the players I like watching the most makes fantasy hockey more fun. I think a couple I took Barzal and Nelson, who are my two favorite players this year, and they both delivered for me. That was going to be my pick, Barkov. So good on you, Rob, for sniping me twice now. I'm kind of trying to decide between two players here, and I'm going to go with the one that shoots more and take Sam Reinhart.
Reinhardt, another UFA, just like his teammate Montour. So playing for some big money, and so far definitely earning it. I've been seeing a lot of lists listing, the top UFAs for the summer, and it's like Reinhardt or Gensel. Most of us have Reinhardt number one. I guess it's arbitrary, but it'll be exciting to see if Reinhardt could repeat his 50-goal season. That's for sure. But yeah, he's having a solid playoffs. He had 6 points in 6 games for that last series. Obviously a key player on the team. Pretty sweet to get him in the 4th round. I guess that's what you get by earning the first pick in the draft by doing so well last round. So congrats. You got another stud here. And we go to Bob's boys. He's got McDavid, Kachuk, Verhaeghe. No more boys, he said. We'll see.
We get no more boys. This is where it gets a little difficult. There's some names that I like, but it's like it's just the competition right now. And I think based on goaltending, I'm leaning towards the Stars. And I think let's go J-Rob. I think he's due. And I do think the Oilers are going to let in a lot in this series. So it'll go both ways, I hope. Oilers up, Stars up. But yeah, I don't have any trust in Skinner. I apologize to Mason. We're in the Oilers jersey down there, but it's going to be all offense if the Oilers want to win that one, because they're going to have to be climbing out of a hole, I think. So let's go for Jason Robertson.
That was the player I was considering with my pick. But yeah, Reinhardt shot a lot more last round than Robertson.
Yeah, Robertson's been so tricky. Another guy that's was disappointing for a while, but the talent's there. Like, he could go off. And yeah, it's wild. I guess Skinner, we'll see if he could, his last 2 games in theory look good. Like those final 2 wins led in only 1 and 2 goals, but we're looking at less than 20 shots in each game.
Exactly.
Mason, if you're the big Oilers fan, how are you feeling about Skinner? You think they should have stuck with Pickard?
Well, I'm not a big Oilers fan, but yeah, I don't think either's a good option. I think they should play Skinner for the most part, maybe cycle through them, although teams have a tough time doing that in the playoffs. So I don't know if they'll be willing to do that, but I agree, if the Oilers win, it'll be all offense, and so I would be fine with that based on my first 3 picks here. I was pretty worried, actually, when you started mentioning the Stars, Bob, that you were going to go for the guy I wanted. And I am going to be taking my boy, Wyatt Johnston.
Oh, wow. Incredible rookie season. Was his rookie season? I don't know. Maybe.
No, I don't think so.
No, second season. But yeah, I guess otherwise he would have been in that discussion with Bedard and Brock Faber. But incredible coming out party for Wyatt Johnston for sure. And look at him getting picked in the 4th round of a KKPP playoff draft. Pretty impressive, ahead of some guys. He's not even on the top power play, right? Though Dallas does split it pretty well. But obviously you have some faith. By the way, I also do have to correct myself. I have to correct myself on a couple things. First of all, I said that the Oilers set was complete. That was not true. So I'm sure people were yelling at me when they were listening to that. So my mistake. Also, back to Jason Robertson. I said on a recent podcast with Brian, but I'm just saying stuff. I'm just trying to say interesting things here. I don't always believe everything. I'm asking Brian questions, but I was asking him about what do you think about maybe a Nichushkin compared to Jason Robertson for next season. I was like, maybe there's actually a reason to like Nichushkin more. Obviously, that didn't turn out that well, because I think it was the next day that it turned out that Nichushkin's getting is back in the player assistance program for at least 6 months. Who knows if he'll be back in the league. So yeah, definitely put me on the record saying I'll take Robertson over Nichushkin for next season. But all right. So Mason, you just grabbed Wyatt Johnston. We'll see if he can continue. He's kind of like remember the Stars' last playoff run? That was Heiskanen really came out and showed himself to be a stud when the Stars went on that first playoff run, and then everyone was super excited for him for the next season. And then I recall he ended up being a bit of a bust for people who drafted him super high in the regular season. So we'll see if it's similar for Johnston, though of course Johnston has had a good regular season as well. Anyways, blah blah blah. Sorry about that, everybody. Rob is again I don't get to draft, so I'm just reveling. It's just fun for me to be around these fantastic fantasy players. So Rob, you're up to finish off the 4th round.
Another awesome snipe by Mason. I think I still want to have. I'm hedge my bets a bit with some Edmonton, and I think I'm just going to grab Hyman.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, that's obviously the guy I was thinking of, and also I'm surprised he fell so far.
Mm-hmm.
I guess he wasn't as good in the last round, but in the first round, Hyman was crushing it. He still had 7 or 5 points in 7 games in the last round. Now up to what is it here? In the playoffs so far, we're looking at 13 points in 12 games, over a point per game. It's pretty sweet. You know, like Rob, you're for a 4th round or 4th overall, having to pick last every round. You just got Barkov, you got Hyman, Zibanejad, and Heiskanen now. Pretty solid team.
Should be okay. Got to get
It'll be
lucky
fun to
though.
see. Yeah. Now it'll be fun now to see the second half of the draft here, where we see where some of you make your like more gut picks, because there's still some good studs out there actually available. And as always, for every round, Chris gets his pick of who to start the round with. He's got a team of Draisaitl, Montour, Fox, Reinhardt. Who's coming next?
Yeah, definitely not thrilled with my options here, but I'm going to dance with the girl I brought and take Chris Kreider here.
You had him in the last round?
I did, yeah.
So what was it that you were thinking when you said before that you weren't into what you saw from the Rangers that makes you look nervous here?
I think that Carolina was outplaying them by the end of the series. I remember saying when Carolina was up 3-1 to my wife, the only way Carolina loses this series is because of Freddie Anderson. And then he went on to let in like 4 goals on 23 shots or whatever. So I'm not thrilled about the Rangers, but I do think they can at least take it to 6, maybe 7 games. Bobrovsky looks amazing right now, but I'm just not that confident in some of the other PP1 options available to me. Trocheck is close, but just Kreider kind of seemed like the man there right now.
Yeah, I mean, he had over point. I think we're running out of over point per game guys from the last round. Maybe Kreider is the last one, looking through quickly here. So I think it's a solid pick, or I guess there's a couple others, but but they're all on teams that have been eliminated. And yeah, I guess to be fair, Carolina was a lot. I was thinking Carolina was going to take it all this year. I was surprised when they went out. I also saw, when it was like 3-1 for the Rangers, I was like, oh, I'll bet you this is going to be a comeback. But like you said, I guess Freddie Anderson wasn't able to hold up in that one game. All right, so we've got Kreider off the board, another top power play guy going in the 5th round. Pretty sweet. Over to Bob, and I see you've already thrown in your pick here.
There's the other one. Yeah, so it was between whatever one that Chris took. I figured it was going to be either Kreider or Trocheck, so I got the other guy. Trocheck was great for me last round. I mean, he's also a point per game, right? So like what he's doing, like his role on that team right now, and he seems to be really acting like a spark plug for those guys in that last series when none of the other Rangers get it going. Trocheck seems to be the man that steps up. So let's see him do it again and make this a nice long 7-game series. Even though I don't believe it'll go that far. I mean, I got some stake in it here now, so let's go.
I mean, it's hard not to have a stake in all those series when there's only 4 teams.
You got 4 options. Yeah, one of them's got to be weighted though, so I'm curious if how I'm gonna tailor this the rest of the way. But I like it, you know.
Well, yeah. Now you've got one Edmonton. This is your first Ranger. You've got a Dallas, and you've got 2 Florida. So far, I guess you're cheering for Florida Rangers. I guess you have 3 out of your 5
for now. Yeah, let's see.
Yeah, lots to go still. All right, Mason is up. What are you thinking?
Well, I'm a little sad that Trocheck went specifically, but Kreider as well. I was hoping to stack Trocheck with Panarin on both the same line and the same power play, but I'm going to go with the young breakout, and even though he doesn't have the top power play, I think Lafreniere is can probably keep up his point per game pace here. Yeah, he's looked incredible end of the season and start of the playoffs here. So that'll be my pick.
And you still get to have your stack with Panarin, which you wanted, at least at even strength. Yeah, what a breakout season.
Missing the power play.
What do you think about? Hey, same with Wyatt Johnston. You still picked him. Brian and I actually debated on the last show. Or sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, Wyatt Johnston's been top power play. I know that that's at least in part because Hintz has been out, but I think there's Pavelski has been dragging the Stars down throughout the playoffs, and Johnston's obviously been breaking out. So I kind of feel like they might drop Pavelski down, or Ben, or even Hintz if he's not 100% to keep Johnston there.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they do for the rest of this playoffs, and then also like going into next season. Like, how long will these older players be able to hold off? Johnston, Stankoven, Bork, even. But okay, so yeah, you've got what's your pick for next year? I think Brian and I discussed this on the last show. You have your last two picks, Lafreniere or Wyatt Johnston. Who would you take first for draft for next season?
That's a tough one. I think I was thinking during the episode that I would take Lafreniere, but I just think that that Rangers power play is so locked in, and I think Johnston's the first one to get up there. So even though I really like Lafreniere, I don't think this next season is going to be the year that he is ahead of Johnston.
Right, better chance of getting the power play. All right, Rob, you're going to finish off the first half of this draft. Like I said before, your team looks pretty solid for a fourth overall pick. I keep saying fourth round. Zibanejad, Barkov, Hyman, and Heiskanen. Who's going to round off the first half of your team?
Just trying to keep my head above the water. I think, man, I would love to get into that Dallas rotation as well. If you still, yeah, I think I'm gonna, go with Ben. Pretty happy about more Dallas.
Yeah, I mean, he's on the top power play. He's playing with Wyatt Johnston at even strength. So you got to like the deployment there. Or wait, is he? Okay, the last game actually I'm seeing. Okay, with Hintz injured, I guess everything's different. I need to
Everything's different.
I got to update my whole thing. But so it was Ben, Sagan, and Dodonov who came back, and they were together on a line. And then Wyatt Johnston was playing with J. Robin, Stankoven, and then Pavelski with Duchesne and Marchand. What is this? Who can keep track of Dallas switching up everything? Well, it'll be fun to see now what they do, and if Hintz comes back. What is the latest on Hintz, by the way? I guess I could check Game Day tweets quickly. Unless
I checked your site earlier. He's day to day. He skated.
Upper body.
He was on the ice. He was skating.
Which probably will mean like after Dallas gets eliminated or win the cup, they'll be like, yeah, he had like a torn, ruptured like eardrum. Like, I don't know, it'll be some crazy thing that he's going to end up playing through. But all right, so we're done half of the draft here, and we go now to you, Chris, for I guess, it's a lot less obvious at this point. I think we're pretty much through all of our top power play options with Ben now off the board as well. We've already gotten into the non-guys like a Lafreniere, so this will be a fun second half of the draft.
I think there's at least one top power play guy left, but I'm going to start taking some swings here and take also a young player that was a big part of my first round success, whose deployment seems to have improved through round 1 to round 2, and I'm going to go with Anton Lundell.
Interesting choice, yeah. I mean, he's a guy, I remember back when he first came on the scene, like a lot of people were saying he was going to be like a big deal. He was a high pedigree guy, and it seems like maybe one of these players who just is useful as a third line center. So kind of like he reminds me of like a Dawson Mercer a little bit over in New Jersey. Like maybe with different deployment, he could be a star already. But yeah,
he's currently on the second line, or at least practicing between Tkachuk and Verhaeghe.
Yeah, so that'll be huge, and we'll see if he can continue the success. I think he can. If the last tweet I'm seeing here, that he and Bennett flipped lines. Oh, that was mid-game. And then, yes, now we've got new lines. We'll see. Obviously, we'll see how Florida does against the Rangers to start the series. Obviously, they're willing to switch things up. But, yeah, I think that's a really fun pick. We'll find out. Maybe we've got a whole new bunch of young, exciting players. It'll be fun going into a couple drafts next year to see like guys like Johnston, Lafreniere, now maybe even like a Lundell sneaking up higher than people would have expected a year ago. But, okay, fun way to start the second half. Over to you, Bob. Where are you going to
young and exciting? That's the theme right now. So I'm going to go with category beast, Thomas Harley right now for my first D off the board. Pretty slow last round. I mean, but he's still putting up shots. He's still getting the usage. So I think versus some Swiss cheese goaltending, he could squeeze in a point a game maybe if I'm super lucky.
Yeah, you are aware that those like 3 hits, 7 blocks that he got in the last game won't be counting for
I know.
That again.
Yeah, I know. It shows though. It shows his his trust and his effort on the ice. So that's more ice time. Let's keep him out there. Let's keep him getting those secondary assists.
Yeah, I'm seeing almost 35 minutes in that last game, the double overtime. So yeah, obviously a big part of the team. Dallas Very fun team. A lot of young, exciting players. I feel like we mentioned a bunch of them, and Harley sometimes he kind of slips my mind because I'm excited about like Johnston, Stankoven. But yeah, Harley's obviously a big part. All right, so you've got your first D off the board. Mason is up for your 6th pick.
Yes, sorry, I was just just deciding. I do have. I do still think that the Stars are going to score a lot, and that's going to be a high-scoring series. I'm just going to lean into that and take another Star here. They helped me out last round, so we're moving away from the young and exciting. But I'll go with old reliable Matt Duchene.
Yeah, Duchene. I don't know what to do. I have him in my Dynasty League, which I know people like to take a drink whenever I mention it, but he's going to be a UFA. If he signs for a lot of money, I can't. I feel like he could be like a 30-point guy or like an 80-point guy. Like he just switches back and forth all the time. So I'll be interested to see where he goes next year. But yeah, at least for now, he ended that series against Colorado strong, points in each of the last couple of games. So yeah, with all these lines going all over the place, hard to know who he'll be playing with, but obviously a big part of the team. And Matt Duchene, yeah, after a solid regular season, off the board here. And we go to Rob to finish off round 6.
Yes, sir. I am not 100% more. My brain tells me stay away from too many players, but my heart's saying Dallas. Hints. That whole thing is about hints. But I think I'm going to stick with Seguin. He helped me through last round.
I mean, hey,
Just got started.
He had a 4-game point streak that was finally broken in that. Oh wait, sorry, 1 sec. Let me edit this here because I had brought up the wrong person. Yeah, I mean, hey, he had a really good series. Got an assist in that last game against Colorado. Also had a 2-point game earlier on. Yeah, why not expect Tyler Seguin, who maybe is, like he had a couple years where I think he was clearly hampered by injury, and now he's not the player he once was. But this past season, even just in the regular season, 52 points in 68 games. This is a guy, he was a guy who I was seeing in free agency in a couple of my fantasy leagues, a couple of years back when he had that 49-point season back in 2021-22. But yeah, he's a solid pick, especially for, the end of the 6th round. I'm really, Rob, I'm just gonna say I'm liking your team for someone who's behind the 8 ball here. You're getting some solid guys. We'll see how it works out for you. All right, Chris starting round 7. So we're getting to a point now where everyone only has 4 picks left. Some people still have to pick another D. Everyone has to still pick a team. But Chris is you're good with D. You knocked out Montour and Fox early on, so you can just go forwards forever until the last round.
Yeah, Rob sniping again there on Seguin. By the way, Seguin led the Dallas Stars in shots in round 2 with 18. So he, as far as the leading indicators go, he's up there. Nice. Tied with Wyatt Johnson with 18 each. So that gives me a lot of pause. It's kind of I think I want to go Dallas here. I'm trying to decide between deployment, upside, injury. Yeah, I'm gonna go Logan Stankoven. Just he didn't have that many points or points per game in the 2nd round there, but he's got a ton of skill. I have questions about Stuart Skinner and Edmonton's defense. I think he'll get a few points, and hopefully it's enough.
Yeah, I mean, Stankoven did have a 3-game point streak against Colorado before not getting a point in the last games. It's not as if he was completely quiet there. So yeah, maybe he's really just finding his groove, and I mean, he's gonna have an incredible career. And we'll see how much he helps you in this playoff draft. Okay, so now we go to Bob for your 7th pick. You got a D out of the way in the last round, so you have 4 picks left. You need 1 D, 1 team, 2 forwards.
Yeah, and I think everyone's loving the Stars angle on this one. I think I am too, and I'm probably willing to take the risk with this one. And it's either going to be Joe or Rupe. I think the upside on Rupe is pretty great right now, considering Pavelski's been pretty underwhelming. So let's take the risk. Paid off a little bit, I guess. Last round, I took Bennett at the end. I still got a couple of points out of him. He was injured, but let's see. Hopefully, Rupe can pull it together and be a steal in the 7th round.
Yeah, I mean, this is like in these drafts. There's always a player like this where it's like he's gonna fall because he's injured, and then it's possible he plays game 1, and you look like a genius, getting him so late. Then Pavelski. I have some thoughts on Pavelski. I'll wait till he gets picked. Let's see. Mason, are you gonna do it? At some point, I want to talk about Pavelski.
I am
No
gonna do
pressure.
it. I would have taken hints too. I think the Oilers goaltending. Sorry, can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the Oilers goaltending.
Okay, my video's just freezing up, so wanted to be sure. Yeah, I am going to take Pavelski. I think he's on the top power play right now, so as long as Hintz is out, he can hopefully keep that spot and be in that Dallas top 9 and pick up a few points for me like he did last round.
Yeah, I mean, this late, you're looking at a guy who, like, I'm not using the eye tester, I'm just looking at numbers, but like, he had 67 points in the regular season. He's also not like just generally a playoff slouch, right? Like last playoffs, he had 14 points in 14 games. Slow playoffs so far, 4 points in 13. Unless he's totally just like fallen off in the past month, seems like someone that has the potential to do something and still gets the good deployment. So
yeah, and he had 4 points, I think, this last round. I don't think he had a single point in the first round. So I don't know, just something wasn't working, I guess.
Yeah. So there you go. So this is now that was the 6th pick in a row from Dallas, going back to Harley from Bob back in 6-2. Then it went to Shane, Sagan, Stankoven, Hintz, Pavelski. So Rob, are you going to keep the streak alive? There's still some, I don't know. Is there? I'm trying to see who's left from this team now.
I think I'm Dallased out. I don't think I'm going to.
You're not going to grab a Ryan Suter?
I don't think I can do that. Man, I was hoping for one of those other two though. Those are some nice picks. Stankoven and Hintz for sure too. Okay, I think I will jump on the Jack Roslovic. Get some Ranger in there.
Yeah, I mean, if you're still trying to knock out a top 6 player, the top power plays are taken. Roslovic's been playing with Kreider and Zibanejad, who went a long time ago. He's a guy who always seemed to not produce whenever I added him in fantasy back when he was on Columbus. And yeah, it's going pretty well with the Rangers, at least in these playoffs. 7 points in 10 games now. Had 2 assists in that final against Carolina to win the series. So yeah, not bad to finish off the 7th round. So yeah, 3 rounds to go. Everyone has only 1 defenseman except for Chris, who has 2. And then everyone still has to pick a team. So we're going to be almost done our forward picks soon. We can still get another round of forward picks here. Chris, I assume, is going to take one.
Yeah, this is a difficult one, but I think I hate saying that so many picks are conservative. But yeah, like, so if Lundell loses that line to center role back to Bennett, I want the guy that's playing with Verhaeghe and Kachuk. And there's other players on Florida that are tempting, but they've been underwhelming so far in the playoffs. So Bennett has like almost 0.7 points per game. He's a mean player. He's a dirty player. He's going to get into it. Yeah, I'm going to take Sam Bennett.
Yeah, solid choice for sure. I feel like last year he would have been taken a lot earlier. He had a really good playoffs from what I recall. This year he missed a couple games to start, but here we are. Starting off the 8th round with Sam Bennett. Sounds good on paper. All right, Bob. So yeah, you have 3 picks left. You need a D, you need a team, you need a forward.
Yeah, this is where it gets tricky. I don't like the spread. So we're going to go and take team. We're just going to take those pesky Dallas Stars off the board. Try to secure my 4 points there.
I wonder how uncommon it is that like this draft started with 3 Oilers being taken, but then the first team taken is their opponent, Dallas. I feel like something's got to give here. But I guess, Bob, you're safe either way because you've got McDavid. And then if McDavid gets shut down, You've got Dallas's team goalies at least.
Yeah, I mean, they're all coin flips when it comes to the teams at this plate. We know how playoffs go, right? We know these 4 teams that are in right now. Did everybody choose them? Like, I don't know. People will say that they had the Panthers and Stars right from the get-go, but I don't know. It could go either way, but I feel confident that the Stars will take out the Oilers. And let's see. So yeah, let's see how it goes.
I had Carolina and Vegas. So my bracket is pretty broken at this point. I also thought Tampa would get out of the first round. What do I know?
I definitely thought the Canes would push far with that Gensel pick. I think that was massive for them. I think they probably would have if they kept Kochetkov in net, but they went back for old Freddie. So.
All right, so Mason, you've got 3 picks left. Same situation as Bob was in, where you need a D, you need a team, you need a forward.
Yeah, I like a lot of the forwards left pretty similarly, so I think I'm going to lean away from that. I only really have 2D I still like, so I think I will take one here and, shoot for a solid floor. Obviously, there's no one else exciting left, but I'll take Gus Forsling.
Yeah, Forsling, what did he get there? 3 points there in that last round. Had 3 points also in the round before. So, yeah, pretty solid floor. He plays a ton of minutes. Big part of the team. Just signed that big, long contract. I've got him in my Dynasty League along with Duchesne. I'll have it's a cap league. I'll have the option to drop him, or I can hold for 8 years at like 5 point something. Feel like probably I should drop, but he keeps, scoring these big goals in the playoffs. Makes me like, oh, maybe I like him. So I'm hoping he does badly for you, Mason. Nothing against you, but I don't want to be pressured into making a bad decision and taking on that contract. But okay, so you've got your D covered. Everyone's got their D covered except for Rob now, who still needs to pick one more. Oh, wait, actually, no, and Bob also still needs another D as well. But all right, so where are you thinking to finish off round 8, Rob?
Oh, looking at the forwards, are kind of slimmer pickings on the D. And I just noticed Bob had 2 D left, but I think I'm going to let him have those.
No, he has Harley, so he just.
Oh, sorry, I missed that. Oh, yeah, there it is. Okay, missed that. How did I miss that? Oh, I remember now him calling him. I think I'm still going to go with Vander Kane.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of like the Sam Bennett pick, where it's like, name value, he's good.
Yeah.
Like, it's surprising he's fallen so far.
I like that. Yeah. Corey Perry yelled at him. Oh,
that's he had a 4-game point streak in that last series.
Yeah, that's right. Not the last game, but yeah.
Not the last game, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, not a bad way to end the 8th round there with a solid veteran in Evander Kane. All right, so now we go to Chris. You need a forward, a skater, and you need a team for your last couple picks.
I just wanted to say, I think it was Bob that said he wished Carolina kept Kochetkov in net, and I think that would have been enough to swing the series as well. And I think it was host Brian that also pointed out a couple of really odd names that were on the ice for Carolina during the last minute or two of that game 6. And yeah, it's shaken my confidence in Brindamore a little bit. I'm really disappointed I didn't load up on Dallas more. My whole strategy here was coming in like to get guys that were shooting on Stuart Skinner. Just didn't really work out for me that way. Trying to decide between third line Dallas guys or first line Florida guys. Tarasenko is competing for a contract. He has slightly more points per game so far. So I'm going to grab Tarasenko. Not loving it, but I'm going to go for it.
Yeah, it's like in the same vein as Evander Kane. It's like big name, hasn't been producing the points this year like people would have expected, but he's Vladimir Tarasenko. You're not going to leave him undrafted, so can't go wrong. Or I mean, you can go wrong, but who else were you going to pick? So I think it's a pretty solid pick. Okay, so Bob, now you took your team. The only team taken was Dallas by you, so now you could either take your D here, or you can save your D for the last round.
Yeah, I think I'll get him out of the way now. He's not exciting by no means anymore, but I'll go with the former Calder winner and Aaron Ekblad there in the Florida Blue Line. Fill out my D.
Hey, who knows? Maybe next year Ekblad becomes a good sleeper pick, depending on if Montour re-signs with the team. But That's a conversation for another time.
He lost his shine. Let's get it back. Let's bring him a cup. Conn Smythe, Iron Ekblad. Let's see it.
I wonder if it's been injury that's like he's just not the same player. He like was really taking off as a fan. Like it took him a while, and then he started to really go off as like a top tier fantasy defenseman, and then totally disappeared. Got a couple points in the last round in the 6 games for what it's worth.
Yeah, he's also been shooting a little bit, which I like to see. So let's see him turn it around.
Okay, Mason. So you've got your D out of the way after you took Forslings. You need a team. You need a forward.
Yeah, I would take a forward here, but there's 2 guys I'm still pretty equivalent on. I don't really care who I get, and I think there'll only be 1 forward taken before my next pick, so I do think I'll pivot to team goalies here, and I'll put my belief in the Rangers to the test and take them.
Okay. Who's the actual favorite in terms of like the Vegas odds? I guess Rangers are the home team. Start. And we'll see. Okay. I guess it's probably pretty even. All right. So next up, we finish off this round with Rob here. I guess you need a defenseman and you need a team. You're done with your forwards now.
That's right. And we are. Ekholm isn't kind of rarely on the board, but when he, every once in a while, you'll see him in a series. So he's hopefully not 0. Here's to not 0.
Look, like I think it's like if he gets you 1 point in game 1, he's going to go off for a bunch of games because he's been hot and cold for a while. He had points in 4 straight to start against Vancouver, then went pointless. But yeah, plays big minutes. For the last D taken, I think that's pretty solid. Okay, we're in the last round here. I guess, Chris, you're choosing between Edmonton and Florida here. I think I know who you're going to take based on what you've been saying about.
Yeah, I mean, I was confident. I just checked out the Money Puck odds in case you guys are interested for making the final. They have the highest being Edmonton at 57%, followed by the Rangers at 56%, followed by Dallas at 43%, followed by Florida also at 43%. So I'm going to go with the bottom one and take the Panthers here. I feel like it's going to be a close series, but they will beat the Rangers, I think.
All right. If not, you can still get like 3 points if it goes to game 7. Okay, so Bob, finish off your draft. You get to take, the last forward of the draft.
Yeah, who's it?
Oh, wait,
Who's it
that's not
gonna
true.
be? For me, anyways. Yeah, let's. I don't know. Let's keep stacking those Panthers too. Let's take second power play. Evan Rodriguez for my last pick.
You never know.
He's streaky. He's super streaky, right?
Line. Yeah.
Make the streak start now, Urod. Let's see it.
Mason, was that one of the forwards you were deciding between?
No, and I was kind of hoping one of them would get picked so I wouldn't have to make a decision here, but I don't think I can table talk anymore. So the 2 guys I was looking at are Henrique and Dadonov. I had Dadonov last round. He got me a few points from my last pick in the last round, which was extremely helpful. Henrique I picked in the 9th round, 1 round earlier, and got me 0, of course, because he didn't play. And I feel like I might be too scared to take him, even though I do think he would have had like 4 or 5 points in that Canucks series. I really think he would have helped the Oilers out. I'm just worried that he will miss a few games and then still be hurt when he starts playing. So I'm going to have to go with Dadonov here and complete my set of stars. I think that gives me 4.
Yeah, the latest we've got from today, Jason Greger tweeted, Henrique is making progress. He will play in the series versus Dallas. Not sure if it'll be game 1, though. They will monitor him the next few days, but he's getting close and will play in the series. So he might play at some point. And then to finish the draft, I guess. Rob
that's not enough for
Edmonton. Me. Yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah, and then Edmonton goes to finish the draft, and here we go. We've got ourselves a KKPP R3D1 set of picks in the books. We'll find out who's the winner here. I guess I don't know. Patrons, let us know who you if you have a pick. It'll be fun to see. All this information is public. I'll post in the Discord where you can find the link to the draft results here. Or maybe I can just do a screenshot. Or I guess I won't do a screenshot because I don't want to spoil people listening to the podcast. But this has been a really fun show. I think you all have made nothing too crazy. I'd say. Can I go and say what I think was the pick that surprised me the most of the draft? Or does anyone want to guess? Or does anyone have their own pick?
I mean, I can guess it is my own pick. I thought I was surprised that Montour went as early as he did.
I was thinking maybe like Verhaeghe. I was kind of like, wow, over Barkov, Verhaeghe. But he's one of Bob's boys, so that explained it for sure.
Well, he had a strong round 1 too, right? So don't discount
sure.
how
No.
Yeah, potential is there. Still PP1.
I think it'll be fun to follow. Yeah. So yeah, thanks so much for coming. So yeah, Chris, I don't know, like if any of you have anything you want to plug or let people know, or just have a fun parting word, let me know. But yeah, Chris, good luck. Yeah, Mason, Rob, Bob, this was awesome to chat with you guys. Hopefully people enjoyed this show. Brian and I, FYI, have been in touch and we've like scoped out the whole summer. So I know it's been like a little quiet on the podcasting front, but we have a plan starting pretty much every week or second week moving forward. We're going to have something good for you. So stay tuned. And until the next episode, I guess I'll just say to everyone enjoying your playoff pools, make sure to continue making some fantasy hockeys for everyone. Have a great night. Enjoy round 3. See ya.
Thank you all. Good luck.
Thanks, everyone. Good luck.
Yeah, good luck, everyone.
Bye.
Cool. That was awesome. Okay, so before you leave, I'm gonna end the stream.
Thanks for having us, Elon.
Oh yeah, no problem. Just don't leave just yet, because okay, I'm gonna end the stream. I don't even know if no one said anything in the chat, but okay.